having sex in this house.
Yeah.
Don't close no doors.
Yeah.
That was the other question.
And
we had this morning.
that was my thing. I didn't have to talk until I got caught in Gail's
I'm
house.
surprised at Gail.
Yeah. So okay. So let me clarify. So it's different talks, right? So the talk that we're talking about today is about your kid having sex, right? So Gail had talks about knowing my body and feeling comfortable expressing that to her. That was her talk. But again, I'll say it again, and I'm not sure, make it a takeaway how it fits for you, that your own personal trauma will blind you in your parenting style. And what I mean is that if you have, say, pregnancy, early pregnancy, you are going to be guiding your child to not get pregnant. If you have been sexually offended, you are going to be raising the child in the sense of you will never be touched. So what happens is, it's nothing wrong. It's not about judgment. It's just about awareness, is that it's nothing wrong with that, but don't forget the other elements. So that was what showed up in my house, because there was trauma there with my mother. It was focused on someone touching me inappropriately, that it didn't really go into the next form. So knowing my body very early and calling it names appropriately, that was hands down. But it was for the sake of, you need to tell me if that happens. We don't do secrets. We don't do that. But it wasn't going into, okay, let's talk about intercourse. So my mentality of sex was like inappropriate stuff happening. There was no other side to it. So that's where, like I said, no foul, no judgment. But that's
Right.
where the ball kind of got dropped. So I got a lot of my information from the older girls in my neighborhood, because they were, doing their thing. And it was like, oh, tell me how and what and this and that. It was things I was clear I wasn't doing, which is different from this, like sucking dick. I was not doing that. Like, that was something I was holding sacred to marriage. And now it's like they will do oral sex now and hold off they nook. Look, vagina. They will hold off the penetration, but they would perform oral sex. So it's just different now.
I knew somebody who she was telling us that as a Catholic, like that was what was keeping her pure. And I remember being the 16-year-old with a whole bunch to say, and I'm like, girl, what?
Right.
Like, what? Like, are you serious?
Right.
Like, you're not pure, sis. And she was like, yes, I am. And I'm like, bullshit, right?
I mean, because even then, like, the way sex is defined now is different. Because when I was younger, you were a virgin until you had penetration.
Intercourse.
Exactly. And now that definition has changed, where it's like oral sex is saying that you're not a virgin. And there are still pockets that say, no, you're still a virgin. And then there's a mass that says, nope, any level of sex, you can't claim that anymore.
I mean, figuratively.
Exactly,
and,
right? But it's
that,
like,
I guess you are, but like, to me, it's like, shit, you done popped the port of glass,
Oh gosh.
shit.
So yeah,
like, that's crazy.
It's really important that we just don't kind of just make people feel bad about what they're feeling. These kids, we are their superheroes. So before a teacher or the environment really could mold them, it's us. They're looking to us to see what's appropriate or not. And what will happen is, if we shut it down, that shuts down a piece of them.
Yeah.
And before you know it, at 38 or 48, that piece is still shut down. So just being mindful of it. Again, not being harsh on yourself about it, but just being aware that they are looking for your approval for everything.
Yeah.
So how you communicate with them about something that you feel maybe is distasteful or inappropriate, just be mindful of the language that you use to discourage a behavior or, encourage them to wait or whatever it is. Just be mindful of that language because they hold on to everything. My sister and I had a conversation with my dad about the words that he used to use and how he would say, did anybody do any creep shit to you? We joke saying that amongst each other, but it was like, what the fuck was creep shit? Like, so even when somebody say creep, I go back to 6, like, are they saying something inappropriate?
Yeah.
Like, so just being mindful of the language that we use. So this was good.
Good. This was good.
And again, this doesn't even relate to just if you have children, because my nephew was my first opportunity to even experiment with this. And, it's my nephew. So it doesn't have to be your own biological children, but sometimes many of you have amazing relationships with a godson or a goddaughter or a niece or a nephew or just even somebody in your neighborhood. So don't think that it just is this parental role. Anyone that you are a part or influencing their upbringing, take heed to this stuff.
Absolutely,
today.
Absolutely. This was good. And when I post this, because you're off social media.
I am.
Shit.
We need to take a picture too. We need a new pic.
When I post this is not, I'm gonna emphasize that this is not just a conversation for parents with adolescent children.
Yes.
Because this can start like we have 7-year-olds, and so
starts early.
It starts
too young, early.
Yeah, my kid likes to wear a dress. She will wear a dress every day if I let her. She's one of them. So I'm keeping it close, sis.
Well, I wore jeans and I still was popping it. So pay attention to the ones who wear jeans all the time and making you think she a tomboy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, take care
good.
of you and the people around you.
Peace out.
All right.
Thanks, John.
It's very dry. You can use mine.
She's the picture lady.
No, I'll send it to her.
She usually sends me all 20 of them. What?
That was her making the noise.
No, that was me. I was wondering if